afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Bucks County Curling Club.
You can do that. You want me to do that?
Third set of games today in our His and Hers Bonspiel, 2019 His and Hers Bonspiel. My name's Jeff Gelman, and we are joined by Joe Weber and our star commentator today, Wayne Anderson. We are on our featured sheet today. On sheet B, we have from Bucks, the Veronica's 2, skipped by Amanda Brockman, vice Julie Jadlowski, second Sarah Ackland, and lead Martha O'Connor. Team Hallisey from Philadelphia, Laura Hallisey, Kim Cooper is the vice, Lisa Kraling is the second, and Julie Tim is the lead.
Joe,
and we're underway.
Yeah. Joe, do you have who's playing on the other sheets? Because I know there's some folks probably out there who are interested in what some of the other results are going to be going here as well.
I do. So on sheet A, we'll let you know Team Anderson from Philadelphia Curling Club, skipped by Emily Anderson. We have Deanne Rudd, Kristen Beck, and Tracy Schickel will be leading against Sugar from Bucks County Curling Club, skipped by Megan Turner with Rachel Bursey, Ellen Finkelstein, and Marcy Kiwatowski. Let's see, we got sheet C, Team Moose, combo Bucks Philly, Matt Pring, Zach Gary, Mike Glessner, and Kevin Brady. I believe they are the defending men's champs for this one, versus Team Buffington out of Pittsburgh. Shout out to Pittsburgh. Skipped by Steve Buffington, Carson Turner, Nick Steiner, and then Mike Thornton on the lead. And finally, over on sheet D, we'll keep you updated on Team Anderson, Philadelphia, and is that Galt? I got a little
Galt
Curling Club.
Yeah,
Yes, we have a lot of Andersons. It's Craig, Travis, Don, and Stuart Anderson playing against the Jelly Beans from Denver Curling Club. We have Aaron Wishart will be skipping today with Adam Stevenson and Mike Doherty, and they have a sub on their
Looks like
lead.
Rich Hess
is their lead. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be paying a little attention to the outside rinks here today, so if my attention wanders once in a while, it might be because I'm sort of seeing what's happening there. I'm happy to have my two brothers and one of each of their sons over on there, curling there, so sort of taking a peek over there once in a while. I mean, that's the great thing about curling, isn't it, guys? The social aspect that it's, I mean, I grew up, my grandfather curled, my dad curled, my brothers curled. I mean, for years, my dad, his biggest thrill was always his three sons coming back and curling with them in a bonspiel every year.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, this morning Joe and I played. We played against a father-son team. We had the Team Dutt team from the rink from Philadelphia. Took it to us pretty good, but yeah, that's two sons on that team playing with their father and a nephew. Playing with their uncle, two sons and their father and the nephew. So yeah, keeping it in the family.
Yeah, so yeah, that was always something that even when I was living in the islands for 16 years, I would make an effort to get back for one weekend so we could go curling. And so I'm really happy to have my family down here in Philadelphia, and maybe we'll make it a tradition having them come back down here to Philadelphia in the summertime. Not a lot else going on curling-wise.
Right.
But we got the ladies going on here. We got, looks like, into the seconds rocks already. As Steve mentioned, you know, one thing about the summer, it's always a little more fighting the frost, especially as humidity. And we certainly have had enough humidity over the last few days here for the ice crew to be fighting with. But the ice looks pretty good. Ice looks really good.
Right, I can tell you from being out there that I thought the ice condition was just fine. You do have to pay attention to the frost on the outside, but outside of that, it's curling pretty true.
Good. Yeah, it looks like about 4 feet of curl. Put in the room down on the edge of the 8, are they? Most of the sheets?
Yes. Yep. Just let those who are watching, the His and Hers Bonspiel is set up a little different than some others that you may have attended. It's actually two separate spiels. It's a women's spiel with 16 teams and a men's spiel with 16 teams with A, B, C, D winners in each. A very unique setup. You get a lot of couples playing. They get to be on their own teams. They don't have to play with each other. Kind of fun.
Yes, leads to less fights. Yeah, I think it's really nice. It's nice having both sexes out here in the warm room and stuff like that. You know, it makes for a more social time. Out west, they do a lot of that too. At the bigger cash fields out there, they'll lots of times have both the men and the women's events running at the same time. So they're sort of used to it out there. So this is only see half of this rock coming down here that they're trying to get. Looks pretty good at this point in time. Don't let it wreck on the guard though. That's rule number 1. And just, I mean, if there's new skips out there, that's rule number 1 right there. I mean, you can sweep that as early as you want it. Just make sure you get by the guard. I mean, it had it all the time. Then all of a sudden, at the last few feet, but sweep, and you're crashed on the guard.
Right.
John Benton was the one who told me about that when he was coach, sort of a guest coach. We went up to Toronto with one of the junior teams. He said, Wayne, there's no excuse for crashing on a guard. you just broom it, take enough ice to make sure you get by the guard, sweep early enough to make sure you get by the guard. Don't crash on the guard. Rule number 1.
Yeah, they're on this rock pretty hard here. I don't think it's going to...
I guess they're going to draw, but they'll bump
they may
it
tap it up.
Yeah.
Tap's just as good, even better.
Yeah, that's going to be sitting shot.
Now, of course, there are occasions where the pro side is to hit something, you know, either the guard or the rock. Well, that's a little different of an occasion. But, I mean, if you're just trying to get that rock and you know you've got part of it, make sure you get by that guard.
Yeah. It's always good to have what your good miss is in mind ahead of time.
Sure.
You want to know that from the start.
The pro side of the shot, that's right. And, you know, it doesn't hurt for the skip to sometimes point that out to the player, you know, what they... It's okay to... Here's what we want. It's okay to be here. Hanging out there a bit, but it's going to touch it, but not do anything other than move it into the middle, I think.
Right. Don't know if it'll get it out far enough. It might still remain a shot there.
I'm going to say now that sitting shot, red sitting 2.
Yeah.
And did anyone happen to notice who has hammer in this particular game that we're on here?
Blue has the hammer.
All right. Well, they've only got rocks in
that's Philly.
only got rocks in the 8-foot at this point in time, so the skipper can pull things out if nothing improves going forward.
Right. So they're just looking to guard up that left side there. I think it's going to be a little heavy. You don't want it to leave something for them to sit on, so probably want to pull that back.
Yeah, you're quite right. That's not an ideal spot for that one. It sort of gives blue an out here. They can draw down without moving it.
So Kevin got hers coming out. Yeah, it's pretty wide out there. I don't know if it'll come all the way back.
And I think it's a little warm too.
First end still figuring out that it is quicker in the first end than I think even we expected the first time.
Yeah.
We expect frost on the first end, but not today for some reason.
All right, our first skip rock here. Amanda Brockman from Bucks throwing.
Yep, she'll try to get that guard up. All right, they're sweeping pretty hard. Must be light. That's it looked wide on the release.
I like the fact that the sweepers are sweeping. That you know, the pro side on this one is to be light rather than heavy. So yeah, that's a good shot. Maybe not. Maybe they would have liked it biting, but that's better than going into again behind the tee line. Good shot.
call here is likely to draw right around that guard and get behind.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you get full 8-foot your shot rock, right? So if you can even get it half buried, it would be tough. Out a little wider than what you want it to be here. Sweepers seem to like the weight.
I think she's going to be there for shot. Oh.
Set, baby. Yeah. Shot rock.
I think that's a second shot.
That's hard to tell. I'm looking at the back of the stones to try and judge how they are against that 8-foot ring. It's pretty close. What do you like for red? Just drawing something in there, maybe coming down to it and bumping it a little?
You know, I would actually. She missed that guard by a full rock, right?
Yeah.
So I think you can just play tap weight, backline type weight, and get the inside half of that rock and roll in.
Right. Worst you're doing is giving up one.
Yeah. Put pressure on the other team, because I think it actually is shot rock right now. So you know, she only has to actually move it a foot, and all of a sudden she'd be line 4. And even if the other team still does just have to throw the same rock and draw in, hey, they're facing 4.
That's right. Drawing 1 against 4 is
you never know what can happen.
Can be intimidating, especially first end. You're not sure of the ice.
Yeah. I like putting pressure on the other team. So.
I think that's got to work its way back. It's a little wide again. Don't know if that's going to make it back enough to touch the blue. If she gets a little bit, she'll get to do something with it. Just not enough.
No. Well, Laura showing you that a skip can save an end.
So a simple draw, full white, get you.
Might get you
2.
Maybe. I think it is. This is sort of nice. The sweepers didn't get on it till about halfway down, and now they're going, so it should be close.
Yeah, we're definitely around the guard as long as they got enough to get it there.
You know what? I think she got out just a little bit wider than the other stuff, and just a little slower.
Just got caught.
Yeah, just a little slower. Well, we'll see how the thirds think about it. They didn't spend much time looking at it.
No, they did not.
I think they tapped the blue, and it was the one blue. Oh, both skips would have liked that 8th rock back, I think.
Yeah.
But just one in the first end. No harm, no foul. Got Julie with her lead rock.
Yeah. Our sheet is playing a little faster than all the other sheets. Everything's still going on skip rocks over on the other sheets yet. So updates to come in a little while down the road here.
That rock trickled in. Bucks is electing to ignore that and just put up something on the other side.
Yeah, I like this rather than hitting it. It's not on the center line, so it's not what I call a scoring rock. A scoring rock, I say, is, you know, biting button or full four on the center line.
They're on hard. Are they going to get that over? I don't know if that's going to get over the hog. Just not.
They're working hard. And this is good. Laura recognizing that the most important thing for her to do is get something on the center line here rather than guarding a rock that's in the 8 foot on the side.
And what's so important about getting it on the center line as opposed to guarding what they've already put in the house?
Well, I mean, this is a good opportunity. Maybe there's folks out there who are wanting to get into more on strategy, and they're just starting out in their skipping or vicing. And when you don't have last rock, the only way you're going to score against a good team is if you somehow get something on the center line in the house that is protected by a rock out front. If they, in this case, for example, you guard that one on the right, the other team, and nothing changes till the end of the end, the other team can easily just score by drawing into the 4 foot. So if you don't have hammer, you're pretty much always coming to the center line, and vice versa. Just like the other team was calling for a corner guard on the last one, going to the wings, you're trying to score your multiple points by going to the wings, and that's sort of basic rule number one on strategy, that with hammer, you go to the wings. Without hammer, you draw to the center line. And then the other sort of basic rule is if you're winning, you tend to throw your lead rocks into the house, dare the other team to hit it. If they want to hit it, that's fine. You'll hit them, and they score one. Big deal. Whereas you're losing, you take advantage of that free guard zone rule and make sure that you're throwing your lead rocks out front.
Make a big mess.
Yeah. So I know that's for our viewers out there who have been curling for a while. That's pretty basic stuff. But sometimes you see teams out there who aren't following that basic strategy, and you just scratch your head. You know?
All right, so backing up a little, we had Julie throw a really good center guard. Martha did then come in with a corner guard there, and now we have one that just ticked. They were trying to draw it in. It just ticked their center guard, but still touching the center line, kind of drifted over to guard their shot rock. Bucks is now looking to draw into the house. This is going to crash on the blue.
Yep. Over on sheet A, it looks like after the first end, Team Anderson has put up 3. Leads 3-0. On sheet C, Team Pring has put up 2, leads 2-0. And on sheet D, I'm not certain which is the blue team.
That's Colorado.
Colorado has put up 1, and they lead 1-0 after 1. We're all now in the second end across the board here.
Yeah. So my personal bias, I'm happy on sheet A, and I'm not happy over on sheet D. But you know,
it's early.
50-50.
All right, I don't know if Philly was trying to draw in and they left it high, but it works out just fine for them. Bucks really has no choice but to clear stuff out from the.
Yeah, it's getting a little messy out there for having hammer, isn't it? Unfortunately, it looks like it's gonna. Well, at least maybe it'll move something.
If anything, they might hit their own red and roll in. Might
get lucky here.
Very nice.
It's still just for 2, but it is in the house. That's all right.
Could have been worse. Could have promoted another blue one into the house there that way.
trying to see what the call is there. She's tapping in front of the red. I think maybe she's looking to curl in and guard.
She's a little worried that they can go through that port.
Yeah.
And it is possible with the intern to go through that port and get it.
She'll just guard up the left side.
It's a little low probability. I think I like her idea of coming around and drawing to count 2 through this bigger port on the left side. Or our left side. I keep forgetting the viewers. The viewers from home. What are they seeing here?
What are they seeing? I'm gonna look up on the TV. It's also the left on their screen. So I think.
Okay, so they're seeing over here. It's the right side. Yeah,
yeah.
This port on the right that they're seeing. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice call. Too bad it didn't stop in front of the tee line. But
Just say they could just follow that down and sit on it.
Yeah. But
that's right.
Again, they're Team Hallisey continues to apply pressure here, putting these rocks in play.
Yep. Look like she just tapped the button, so maybe she's going for a draw. Go over heavy draw as plan B, but a regular catch the button for their target.
Yeah, it looks a little up weight here. It's got to move in.
It's got to move. It's got to move.
Coming in now.
It's definitely going to touch the blue. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it'll stop for shot, too. Stops for shot, but wide open. Wide open for Philly to come and make a play on that.
Looks like Laura's calling for a backline weight shot here.
Little back line, okay.
Yeah, probably the shooter can see about 3/4 of that, I'd say, from the hack. And so that's
a little heavier than back line, I think.
Yeah.
Might accidentally wreck on that red. Push that in.
Given that they've got a couple of blue rocks in there, it's
rolls
not really
harmlessly out there to the wing.
I don't think it's going to end up scoring.
Right, with that broom, that looks like just a guard call, maybe guarding the shot.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like they have hammer here, though. I would not mind them drawing another one, trying to get to top 4 more buried. But I guess with looking at blue having second and third, they want to make sure at least of their one.
All right, well, if guard was their call, it's a pretty good one.
Yep. Nice weight. That gets into, you'll watch on TV all the time. The teams tend to sort of get together just for a few seconds there between ends. And, they're talking about what they want to do the next end. Very seldom are they talking about what went wrong in the last end. That's for after the game, You don't start saying, you really messed up on that one, didn't you, Skipper?
We probably know that already.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about the next end, and they'll have a goal. You should always have a goal for your end coming up. And typically, in a tight match like this, when you don't have hammer, your goal is to force the other team to take one. So Laura, in this case, with the other team guarding the shot rock and her line second and third, right now she can sort of guard again to try and stop them from getting another one in if she wanted to.
If they can guard that shot they just threw, prevent a tap in, I think that's Red's only play.
Yeah, if there wasn't another way for Red to get another one in, they could sort of say, well, yeah, guard it up, stop them. How are they going to get two? And we achieve our goal. So many times you see less experienced teams, they play like they have to score every end, and that's just not how it's done. You force one and then you take two. Force one, take two. That's how you win. So it's good to go out there as you're playing it to sort of remember we don't need to score. Our goal was to force one. Now sometimes as it goes along and you say, oh, we've got a real opportunity, to steal here, well, sure, that's what we call bonus, right?
Right. Play for the force.
Right.
Take the steal if it happens to come your way.
And then equally important as the end progresses, even though your goal was to force the other team to take one, sometimes you have to sort of say, whoa, I need to avoid an unacceptable outcome.
Yeah, right.
And sort of bail, forget about trying to force one, Or if you have hammer, your goal might be to take two. Sometimes you have to sort of, with the second rock or the vices, the first rock, say, hey, forget about scoring. We got to avoid an unacceptable steal of 2 or 3 here. So let's blow it up and rearrange the front.
Or 5, Joe.
Or 5. Yes. For those that watched the earlier
game. That can
happen.
It might have happened to us earlier today, but we'll stop there.
Okay, so you're very familiar with the unacceptable outcome. That's not a desired result.
That's right.
Yeah.
It may be unacceptable, but it still happens.
Yeah, but so often, you sort of say, well, if we just draw around and we can get to the 4 foot, we can, it'd be all right. But you miss it, and then the problem just keeps building. Instead of facing 3, now you're facing 4. And you just sort of sometimes have to bite the bullet and say, hey, yeah, we're going to give up 2, but we're not going to give up 5.
All right, we're into the 7 rock here. I think they are. I don't know if they're debating between a draw.
Yeah.
If they draw with a tap as a plan B, that's all right.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Laura did call exactly what you were talking about there, Joe, right? It looks like she threw up the guard.
Yeah.
And you see, that's an experienced skip there. That's not someone trying to say, can we run that red one back and double them out?
Right.
Or peel it off so that next time we might be able to hit it. Just sort of saying, force one, get the hammer back.
Right. It's early in the game. If it's late in the game and you need it, that's a different story. But it's early.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, one of the things you, again, pound into juniors all the time is just an acronym for the basics of strategy. We've already talked a little bit about some, but I mean, there's what you call FESRAI. It's not a really easy one to remember, but it's FESRAI, and it's the F is for free guard zone. We did talk a little bit about that. If you're losing, you have to take advantage of that rule that you can put your rocks out front and the other team can't remove them. So that's the F, and then end is what you were just talking about. The strategy changes where you are whether you're in the early ends, the middle ends, or the late ends, as to what end you're in should be coming into play in your strategy. And the big one, S, what do you think that one is, guys?
Score,
yeah.
Score.
Absolutely, we talked about that before too, right? You're up, you're in, you're down, you're out. Up front. And R is rock, who has last rock, who has the hammer, and rather than just hammer, it also sort of says which rock in the end are you throwing. That can affect what you're doing too. Just like I talked about before. Hey, some teams have it very, very. I talked to Brendan Botcher. He was at a summer junior camp, and his team had a specific. When they got to, I think it was the second rock. That was when they decided whether they were going to blow it up. Sort of say we're out of here. This isn't going the right way, and bail. So, which rock you are in the end can affect it as well. And A, that comes into play a lot, especially when you have less experienced players. The A stands for ability.
Yep.
Yes. You have to know what your players can throw.
Yeah.
What's a good shot? What's good for them?
Yeah. Throw something that has the highest probability of adding value. If you can avoid zeros in scoring from 0 to 4, zeros they didn't do anything for us. If you can just get something out of every shot, and so call a shot that your player has the ability to make, with some degree of confidence.
So for this shot here, it looks like Laura's going to try and maybe catch a little bit of the outside of that red. They could tap her blue in.
They spent a while thinking about the strategy. I didn't see what the decision is. She's got a pretty far out broom.
I like this call. I don't see any downside to it, really. I mean, it's not like she's going to knock her rock out, I don't think. It'd just bump it into the other ones. So she just has to make sure she misses that blue rock out. This is, again, you have to miss the card.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's getting over the hog.
This one,
yeah.
So.
She must have just been, I don't know.
Way out in the frost, I think.
Yeah.
Which leads to the last letter in Fesrai, F-E-S-R-A-I, is the ice conditions. And so, yeah, we just got out just that extra bit where rocks aren't being thrown at all. And I noticed that in the scrape, they didn't even go out to that last foot, I don't think.
Oh, wow.
It might have gotten out far enough that it even got into that. So the ice conditions, you have to be aware of where you're even throwing the rocks. And if people just, young skips, inexperienced skips, sort of remember those rules and try and follow them, they'll go a long way.
They're spending a while here, but I think their only real play is to tap one of those, either red, either one they can tap in.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was desperate for more.
This isn't without risk, however.
Yeah, that's correct.
If that runs into their shot rock, all of a sudden they could be giving up one or two.
But I think it would be bad luck for them to end up giving blue a couple here. But I like the call. I'm not saying not to call it. You go for it. But you have to throw a little bit of weight because you're only wanting to hit about a couple of inches of that rock. You have to send it across at a pretty sharp angle.
That's
so if
true.
you're throwing that much weight and it curls a little bit more than you want, it's going to move that red in the back if you're too tight. You see, this is just draw weight, and so if she's going for that outside rock, I don't think it would have.
I don't think it's going to move it enough, right?
So she's run into the same issue that Laura found on the other side. You get out that little bit wider, it's just a little bit heavier.
Yep.
Yeah, make contact, just not enough.
Yeah.
So red will take their one here.
Yeah, and so, we talked about the goal for the end, the bonus being doing better than what your goal was,
right.
Avoiding the unacceptable, and then you've got the acceptable outcome, which is what this is, right? Both teams, it's acceptable. In fact, the goal, the one team made their goal, right? Hallisey's forced the other team to take one. But it was an acceptable outcome for the team with hammer.
Yeah.
They scored one.
All tied up now, 6 ends to go.
Yeah. How's that, Ian? Better? All right.
It looks like all of our games
Got the thumbs up from Pat. We're all good.
All of our games have moved into the third end. As soon as scores are hung, we'll update everybody. On our featured sheet here on sheet B, Philadelphia versus Bucks, we have a tie at 1 in our third end. Again, this looks like we're trying to get this one. Let's go out a little bit on the other side.
Yeah. Nice shot. Slipped a couple of feet further than she wanted, but right behind the guard.
I think Laura's calling for Julie. Just put a rock maybe right down on that one that was just thrown.
And the sweepers are what we call walking the dog. Yeah. Just watching it. I mean, you really, really like to throw your rocks to bring your sweepers into the game.
Just barely.
Just didn't come in enough.
Yeah, kissed the red rock and just moved it slightly, but rolled out in the process.
He just went top of the house here. Seems a little heavier than that. All the way through.
And this third end is usually where you'll see the ice kind of pick up a little bit, and I think they're kind of adjusting to it after those first two ends, where maybe that, you know, it was a little quicker than they thought. Now they've got to adjust for the ice coming up to speed a bit more.
Totally agree with you, Jeff. That's something when I'm out there playing front end or sweeping, I'll always tend to remind them before the start. This is the biggest difference you're going to see from one end to the next, I find, on this particular rink, is start of the third.
Yeah, there's another shot through.
And she got caught by the same thing, just a little quicker than they expect. Let's see if Sarah can adjust and pull that knowledge from the third rock to her fourth. Took a little off, but I don't know if she took enough off. Sweepers are just watching that go down.
I think we're going to have a rock and play. Well, maybe not.
No, just that center line is really quick now.
So Laura's calling a little tighter ice here.
And again, we'll see if Lisa learns from her third rock to see how this fourth one goes. Sweepers seem to be walking a little quick to keep up with it. And yeah, that's going to go through also.
Yeah, so there's something that when you're noticing that, and so both players, their first rock goes through and they're looking for the next one to come. So what are you going to do differently? What are you going to adjust to take that weight off? And there's a number of things you can do. The biggest thing is how far you're going to take your sliding foot back. And when it's really fast like this, you don't want to take it back very far at all. All right. And more importantly, even maybe than your sliding foot, is how far you're going to let your hips move backwards. And when you're getting really keen ice, you hardly have to take any backward momentum. You can just sort of just go, just go, you know. But you do need to make a conscious decision. What aspect of my delivery am I going to do to take off?
Right,
right. They had to take off 8, 10 feet, 12 feet on it. And what are you going to do? And again, you can say, okay, sweepers, I'm going to give this one to you. I'm going to make a real adjustment here.
It is scary. I know it is scary sometimes, especially if you're coming to our rink, which is Bucks is very fast. You're afraid of hogging by throwing that little weight. You're not used to throwing that at your home club, which may have a little slower ice.
So Kim just had the issue with, she threw the first rock of this end down the other side and obviously came up short there.
Yeah, Laura thought she could come in on the outside to sit on that shot rock, and That's another tough one, going from down the center to down the outside. How do you mentally change that weight?
Yeah. Well, the updates, we can't really provide too much except for one sheet, because although the other ends, second ends have finished on all the sheets, 2 of them have not put their score up yet. So it's you're just going to be in the dark, just like we are, as to what happened. But
I actually believe on sheet A, Team Anderson stole 1.
Okay.
And will be leading 4-0.
And I guess on sheet C, Blue did score because their first skip rock is about to come here. And over on sheet D, let's ring the bell on that.
Anderson
took one. Yeah,
that one's tied 1-1.
1-1 over on sheet D.
Much like our featured game here on sheet B. So on B, we got a little guard up there.
Yeah.
Kind of leaves a tough decision here. She's looking to draw in, maybe just draw, see if she can get behind that a little.
Yeah, it's a little tougher, Kim, after having thrown one on the outside where there's definitely a little bit of frost to come down that middle again that we saw earlier in the end was fast.
And it is, and I don't think this is going to hang around, at least not to be a scoring rock.
Yeah, so, and this is when we're talking about bailing before.
When she did, she got it out.
Type of thing. I mean, that's where you sort of say, well, if we come around and we get it right here, they will be in pretty good shape, right?
Right.
But
there's a lot of downside if you miss that.
Yeah, blue does have hammer there. They could have pretty easily moved both of those red rocks out front, hit half of the rock on the right, and then the other team has to put it back a good guard.
Right. So when you're in trouble, maybe you want to clear that front part out.
But we're down to, I guess that was Vice's last rock.
Vice's last rock.
Skip rock going down with Commander.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not unhappy with that last call. It was a little late. If it was earlier in the end, Vice's first rock or second rock, I might have gotten rid of those suckers. Just said, let's make sure we score here.
So they're looking to guard this center draw up again. Maybe a little more ice than last time.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt if they
just get a biter.
Just a biter. Show half of it. That would take away just a little bit more in terms of the ability.
Sweepers are on this early. And there. All right, they've given up. I guess come back into the fast part.
Well, being wide open here, they want this to stop short now. They don't want.
That's going to stop in a great spot.
Yeah, they're sweeping now, so we might as well get a biter
just to get
there. But
that's not a biter, but it's still a great spot.
I think it's pretty much ideal.
Yeah.
Oh. So Laura doesn't have much. It looks like she's talking about coming around that just to touch yellow. She can definitely touch yellow and be shot. But if she hangs out, it'll be a big old target for.
This is sort of the same pressure that she was facing on her first shot in the first end, wasn't it? I mean, she was having to face a bunch of them there. And she did it, so we'll see if she can pull it off again.
Challenge over on sheet A for Bucks at this point. It's Hammer Rock throwing against 4 for Anderson right now.
Yes, again, not a position you want to be in. Looking like they're having to go for a hit as well.
Here on B, they're sweeping pretty hard. I don't know if they're going to get that to the house.
No.
Sweepers were on it early, but I think, again, as we mentioned, it got a little out.
Yeah.
It was definitely a wide broom, which they needed to be.
And that's unfortunate because that's really, again, blocking paths to the forefoot.
Yeah, they put up their own guard now. So if you're red, you just get up more junk in the front. Keep your two. You could think about tapping that.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I don't mind tapping it. You really don't want to create a port for them though, so it's a little dicey. But yes, put in just that little bit. If that's not biting right now, if it was biting, I wouldn't mess with it because your shooter wouldn't be in the range. You wouldn't be counting anymore. So why mess with it? It'd possibly open things up. But if it's not biting, moving it a couple of inches, that'd be fine.
If you only move it a little, your shooter is sitting right in front of it. They won't be able to do much with it.
But I wouldn't be trying to split like lie 4 by hitting it and rolling on as well, because then you'd be opening up that path to the 4 that doesn't exist right now.
Unfortunate situation for for Bucks on sheet A. They actually ended up knocking a Philadelphia Rock into the house. It looks like Philadelphia is going to take 5. James Anderson will take 5 there.
Right, they're on hard here. I don't know if they're going to get down enough to make contact. If anything, they're going to wreck on the guard and maybe just roll over a little.
No harm done.
That's all right. It's an all right miss.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I think Laura is looking at the only shot that she does have available. Coming through the port.
It's going to come through the port, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Come through that port.
Maybe she can hit
like a hack weight, maybe?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised she's not taking a little more ice.
Take a little more ice, a little less weight.
Yeah.
Because you want to hang around.
Yeah.
Well, you need to hang around.
But again, she may know her delivery. You know, maybe she knows how she throws the rock. And it is a pretty long guard, so she's on the right.
That's right. Has plenty of time to move over. Plenty of time. But from here, that looks tight. That looks like
it's almost
danger.
Like
like the broom is almost straight through that port. If it moves at all.
But she set that out a bit, okay? And this is, she I think she knows
she knows
how she throws that rock. She just set it out a bit, so she's going to come close to that outside rock.
Aren't the whole line. I think they got it through.
Heck of a shot coming here. Heck of a shot.
She going to get it?
She is.
That is an amazing shot.
Ring the bell. Nice. Ring the bell. Nice shot from Laura.
That's a great shot. But she threw that rock just about where we thought she should have had the broom. Wow. That's a couple of ends now. Laura's pulled the team's butt out of the fire.
Definitely saved the team. That was a great pressure shot there.
We got a good game going. 2-1. Sheet C.
We got on sheet C. Sheet C, we have a score update. I still don't see the second end hanging up there.
It's under the 1.
Oh, there's under the 1 there.
Yeah, they scored 1. Yeah.
So Team Moose, led by Pring, is up 5-1 now. They hung a 3 up in the third end. Again, defending champs in this event. Looking to continue that streak. Over on sheet D, they finished their fourth end. Looks like Denver took 1, following the same pattern as our game. They also took 1 in the third. That's 2-1, pretty much holding hammer to 1 rock each end. And in our game, the sweepers worked hard to get that first guard just over the hog. It is in play. One of those things where if it comes to be, any rock that hits that one so close to the hog still counts as being in play, even if it is not itself over the hog line.
Not a rule that is intuitive to a lot of new curlers, because you're always being told if it's not over the hog,
right, right,
it's coming off, right?
Looks like it's just going to remain as a guard.
Yep, they didn't quite get the center guards they wanted.
But inside the 4-foot lines, so they're pretty happy.
Yeah. In fact, it looks like Amanda's going to elect to come around outside of them back to the center. All right, Martha came out pretty heavy, but I think she has to with that frost on the outside.
Yeah, this is where the sweepers have to know the path that they're going down. They let up just a little bit there. I think they, as you were anticipating, need to keep it going the whole time.
Well, get back out of the frost and right up tight and close. With the 5-rock rule, they can't take that out yet. And so Laura's just calling a draw into the house. This one might be a little wide and heavy. See if Laura's got a plan B in mind.
Looks like it's going to squirt on through.
You have to dig hard. I think it's going to hang around.
Yeah, that may hang around there. Yeah. Tied in. Yeah, hang around the 8-foot.
Around.
Nice.
That's in the back. Bucks still might be able to use that to their advantage. In fact, but they're going to like to try the same shot that Philadelphia tried. Come around right behind the center guards. All right, this one is going to make it through the port. It's all weight now. Is it going to stop? Down that center fast line. It's not. Good line, but just, again, a little quick down the center. So now Laura's looking to maybe guard up their shot rock, maybe get a biter out of it, sit 2.
Yeah.
If anything, they want to just miss that way high up guard, just so they have enough room to hang around as a good guard on their shot.
I think they're by the guard.
They are.
It's going to come in all the way behind the tee line.
You can see that. I mean, if they had wanted to stop on the top of the house, you can see how tough of a shot that was. With it being such a long guard, like you're saying, it's just an inch or so over the hog line.
Be so close to that.
I mean, she just missed that one. She only missed the red guard closer by maybe 6 inches, but I mean, she went to the back of the
all the way back.
House. So if she was trying to stop on the top of the house, that would just, when the rocks are staggered that way, that is not an easy.
It's almost not a spot you can get to stop it. If you want to guard it, you have to have another high guard. I don't think you can have it come in.
So here comes another one that's going to just miss the. Well, it's got a little weight.
Is it going to? Almost. Little tick. Maybe it works in their favor.
Tick off that one.
Comes back. It'll.
And, that's
knock some things around for shot. That's a really tricky way to do that. Yeah. I do believe red is shot there.
Beautiful line call, just to not sweep that too much, you know, just let it tick just perfectly. It is open over here on this side, though, for Laura's team.
Laura will come for the hit. It's not very heavy, but it's also not. It's a little wide. They got to wait for it to come back. They got caught in the frost. It's not even going to make it to the house. If they were looking for a hit, it's going to make it tricky for them next time. I think they actually clogged it up a bit. So she's there looking to draw over on your screen onto the left side. I might be more tempted to draw it over to the right side, but either way.
Well, looking at their screen, they're drawing to the right, right? I mean, we're looking at the up here. It's now she's.
Yeah, they're on that pretty quick. It looks like it's a little bit light.
Yeah, and if she had the weight, she'd only be bumping a blue rock in. So.
Here we go. She's going to touch that rock in the front.
Here's your example. Is it did it roll across? Yeah, I guess they're both still across, but it didn't matter whether it made it across or not.
All right, so Laura's debating coming in way on the outside and draw in, or just tapping there and thinking about a hit and roll. Just conferring with her skip. What does she think? Looks like they're going to settle on a draw from way on the outside.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, the trickiest part about this shot is how much is it going to slow down because of the frost out that wide. So they sort of have to guess almost at what weight here.
As a sweeper, you just have to keep your eye on that rock and just sense when it starts to die, and communicate that with your skip, because line is tricky on the edges also. I don't think they came back like they thought.
Nah. Nice weight.
So tricky on the outsides. You really you get caught as delivering the stone. How much weight do I need to give? I know it's frosty, but I know we need it to move and we need it to curl, and you got to throw more or less. You get stuck in your own head sometimes when you're delivering that.
All right, this is a path that's a little more achievable in terms of getting a rock in the rings here.
Rock in, but
these guards are staggered the correct way, making it easier to go through the port, but just a little hot.
So we're down to the skip rocks here. Laura figuring out what her shot's going to be.
Well, they've seen the other team twice now try and come through with the in-turn down the center. I'd be tempted to try and take that away from what the other team wants to do.
Even if you leave it short, you're forcing the one. Again, acceptable outcome in this end.
Yeah.
And if you're little, you get T-line weight, you get it in there, it'll be buried pretty well.
Yeah.
Just remember that this is
such
a fast line.
That's right.
Line looks okay.
Yeah, line's very good.
It'll squeeze right in there. I think she took enough off that it will stay in the house.
And we'll
Looks like it's going to sit for
It's
shot.
good enough for shots. You didn't want it to go behind tee for sure, because Bucks can do the same thing and sit on it. But
that would still leave
shot.
Laura the ability to come down and sit on them if they do that. So
Right, they could go back and forth and then just leave one.
So it's a good shot. Well, I was keeping an eye on my brothers and nephews over on sheet D there, and Colorado was very effective on their hits, and they were forced to blank the end.
Blank end.
Anderson keeps hammer, but they're down 2-1 going into the fifth. I'm doing that for you, Jane. I suspect you're listening up there in Toronto. See how your hubby and son are doing.
Looks like Amanda's shot's going to get through.
Yeah, it's a little heavy. She doesn't wick. I don't know if it'll catch the blue in the back. It might.
Oh, yeah, she's got some of it.
All right, it's enough to push that back and leave their red as shot from previous.
Yeah, it says, okay, Laura, do it again.
Do it again. Same shot. I wouldn't mind seeing a little less weight on this next one.
Yeah, if she could stop in front of that tee, that would be great.
Right, the perfect shot would be something where if red hits it, they're still not shot. Again, she released line, looks all right.
Yeah,
Might be a little tight to that red guard by the time it starts swinging.
Yeah, it's a little narrower than her other one.
Just sweep for the line. Oh, and it looked like it moved more than they expected, and it gets by. How far can they sweep this?
It's by the next one, too. This is great. Just stop, baby.
What a shot. I don't think you can
That's
get
a
to
nice-
that to
that's a
hit it
great
now.
shot.
Now they have to just draw
Yeah.
for one.
That's an excellent shot. Yeah, as we said, love to have it in front of the tee line, but I don't think she can come back, and if she has enough weight to even move it 6 inches, I think she's going to go by it.
And so judging by that broom, looks very similar broom to all the previous shots. Just got to be a regular old
Draw weight, yeah.
draw tee line.
That is a massive lot of rocks out front of the sheet A over there.
I was looking at that. So again, hammer shot here. Skip for the Bucks team. Megan Turner has her work cut out for her to try and get something here with Team Anderson sitting 2 with hammer about to be thrown.
On our sheet, we got Amanda away. I think she's all right for getting through. Is it enough
Sweepers
weight
are
to
all-
get
sweepers
here?
are all over it. The line is past the top guard. Does she have the weight is going to be the question.
Is she gonna make it? Oh, she ticks. Just ticks the
Does not. We've got a
the guard behind it. Steal
Steal
one.
one.
And that's big in this tight game.
Yeah. Nice close game we got here on our televised sheet.
On sheet A, Anderson was able to keep those 2 rocks as scoring rocks as Skip Turner came up a little short there. So got a commanding lead on sheet A for Team Anderson. Wayne, I think that outcome's okay for you.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I apologize to everyone listening out there to have bias in here, but the blood is a little thicker. Oh, they're actually going to shake hands.
They're
over
gonna
on
shake
sheet
it.
A.
We have shakes on sheet A. Team Anderson victorious.
That's right. You only need to maintain, neutrality on the game where
I see.
we're
All right.
broadcasting.
All right.
You can root for family on the sheets that aren't on the screen.
All right.
That's fine.
Looks like a nice center line guard there.
Center line guard, which again I'm going to give credit to because that's a fast line, and to be able to pull that back, that's pretty good.
Amanda's trying to get Martha to put one out in the wings.
Is she looking for this in or just a guard?
I would be just going for a guard at this point because she goes in. If I was lower, I'd be having them hit it. Mind you, sometimes it's, I guess it's back to ability again. Sometimes it's interesting to put it in if you just see whether the skip actually calls the other lead to hit it or not.
Right.
Sometimes they say, I'm going to have my lead continue to draw rocks. So, you know.
I'm going to give credit there to Julie and Sarah for sweeping all they could to get that rock over. They were sweeping right from the release to the hog, and it just cleared by a foot.
It's all that off-season training in the gym, you know, got them.
But because they jumped on it early, because they knew they didn't wait for a skip to tell them a skip can't really call weight. It's really up to the sweepers to make that call themselves.
Yeah, I was just talking with my brother about that. He, brother Stuart, he coached a junior boys team up in Ontario last year. He's been coaching for decades, but last year their team actually won Ontario and went to the Canadian Junior Nationals. And he was talking about how much they focused on the communication, just what you're talking about. He says that as soon as the rock's out of the hand, the two sweepers are sort of talking, just a little private chat a little bit on where they think it is, and then the lead sweeper communicates the consensus opinion, whatever he thinks the consensus opinion, down to the other end. They don't have one guy yelling heavy, another guy yelling light.
That's confusing sometimes.
Right.
Yes.
They sort of, you know, they both sort of say it, and the lead guy put it in there, and then the skip coming back. Actually, the first communication he likes to have is the skip indicating how the line is.
Okay.
And then immediately followed by that lead sweeper shouting where he thinks the weight is. And it's not sort of like a number in 1 to 10. They're just sort of saying, weight's good, little up, little down.
From what we know you called.
Yeah.
Right, if you're calling T-line up,
yeah,
we think it's up, it's through. We think it's a little down, it's a little high.
And so very quickly you've got the skip having said whether the line, how the line is generally, and the sweeper giving a very quick, hey, which direction is it, on, up, or down? And then, of course, as they get, you know, a little bit further down the sheet, you can get more precise into where it exactly is. But you're right; those sweepers jumping on that rock right away, that's key. Not waiting for someone else to sort of say you need to sweep. We know it needs sweeping.
So, Wayne, is this your brother's first time playing at Bucks?
They have both been in the facility before, not since we've had this beautiful warm room added to it. But they have both. I was showing it off to them in previous trips when they were down here, what the facility was like on the ice. But first time they've spieled here in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Well, I missed the call on that one there. That definitely hooked more than they expected.
I think that had to pick something on the ice. Yeah, because that made a drastic turn to the left, you know, from our vantage point.
Yeah, you would have
I think she was trying to take that blue out.
She was trying to take the blue out, and it just to go that far over to make it through the port. It's an unlucky break when you get that pick. Sometimes you have a good shot when you let it out of your hand, but the ice takes over.
People say the breaks balance out, but I always feel that it's worse for my team. I'm sure the other team feels the same.
That's a very nice shot right here.
That's really good.
That is nice.
You just Lisa threw that.
Yeah, nice shot with backing. Really, all Bucks can do is follow it.
Well, I think she's looking for the hit and roll here.
It's interesting to go for hit and roll. The shot that it wouldn't be shot that they were hitting would be the third if they were hitting the one outside. And they're wide of it. They might end up clipping it in to be second if it catches this. You might want to sweep it by.
Yeah, a very good call, Joe. I mean, that's something like you're saying that it's not obvious that you'd be sweeping to miss it when you're trying to take it out.
Right.
But you're right. Sometimes it's a lot better to totally miss it than to
Plan B is miss.
And so often behind the line, behind the tee line, sometimes the natural inclination is to always sweep the opponent's rock out. But depending on the score in the end again, sometimes it should be the teams that's throwing the rock should be trying to sweep that rock out. And
don't leave something for the other team to play on.
Right. So...
But I've had 2 shots that hung out. Do you think they're hanging a little bit?
I don't know if there's a ridge because both of them did the same exact thing. They both fell off and just missed that blue rock down there.
Well, we'll have to take a closer look at the releases on this ice. If you this is not an example that Julie actually slid a little wide on this.
I think
one.
She's wide also on the release, and that's not going to come back either.
But
again, I might sweep to miss, but I think it'll miss on its own.
If you ever slide narrow and then throw out to the broom, those rocks are going to stay out there forever.
It's a different angle.
Yeah.
If you're throwing out to the broom from when you release at hog than from your normal delivery spot. Yeah.
Now the top rinks will actually have a release where maybe they slide at the center of the broom and throw to the outside of the broom. I mean, that's not very much, but even just that little bit of setting, just an inch or two, forget whether you're setting it out 6 inches or a foot, but even just that inch will let that rock just run straight for so much longer than if you just let it continue to release it in the direction exactly as you're sliding. So they purposely will do that, and you can throw a rather quiet rate and still have the rocks run pretty straight for you. It takes, especially when you get on arena ice where you got a tremendous amount of curl, you really want to have a little bit of a setting of a rock, but not for club curling. Just throw at the broom. Slide at the broom, throw at the broom.
Yes. All right, but judging on the call here, she just tapped the center. She's giving up on the hit. She's looking for a draw now.
Looking to draw down.
It's really hanging out there. It's not coming off the corner at all.
There's got to be some kind of fall on the ice or something.
Right, maybe. Now, we didn't have that in our game. We played on B. Right. I don't remember seeing that.
No.
But as Wayne pointed out, when they scraped, they didn't scrape out there. So would that be a spot where maybe
Again, I didn't watch the slide and stuff. I would be much more inclined to be thinking that it's more a delivery issue. That the ice generally. I mean, here's one. Well, I'll really watch this slide and release here. You got it at the edge of the 8.
Yeah, is she doing the same thing just to draw in?
I think, yes. She's trying to totally bury here. She's trying to get to button on this shot.
All right, so she's about, almost looks like 4 inches or so less than where Amanda had her broom.
Well, we saw Laura before. Remember, we thought the broom wasn't enough ice.
Right, and she threw out a little bit, so maybe that's her tendency.
She knows her release. No,
seems pretty true on the release.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good slide at the.
It might be too close. She's gonna
I think she's gonna wreck on the guard.
On her guard. So what is she gonna do with that as an option?
Didn't want to do that.
No, that definitely opened up, made it for much easier draw in now. That's true. I wonder if Laura got fooled by all the other ones that went so far outside
Yeah.
and gave less ice, but
Yeah.
when really she hit the broom and maybe the other ones were just a little bit outside.
So it looks like Amanda's taking actually a little bit more ice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking maybe it's a little less weight, that thing will begin to swing in a little bit earlier.
That's pretty nice line for where the broom was.
The line sweepers are on it. I thought maybe it was light when she released it, but she does have backing, all kinds of backing.
Curling in now. Is it going to come in enough?
If anything, she'll get a little hit and roll in. Yeah,
That works.
really nice.
Sure does.
It's a tricky little stone there. If Laura can come down and sit on that, there's no room for
That's right.
Amanda to come and follow it. Stacking up behind that behind the tee line until you make it to the tee line, and now it's going to be reversed, so she'll be right on it if she can pull this off.
Yeah, she has to get to nose on this though, because if she only gets half onto it on the right side, Amanda will be able to come down and hit it and on the nose, and the red rock that is currently there is not going to go anywhere.
It's jammed right up.
Yeah, right, but Laura's rock would go. I think Laura was actually looking at coming off of the outside rock on her own blue rock.
Okay, and she is pretty wide there for a draw, but maybe that is it. Maybe she gets a little hit and slide in sideways. Don't think it's going to have enough weight to do what she was thinking. No.
So Amanda can actually come down to her own and sit two.
Just a draw with backing, sit two.
So both skips really sort of pulling things out of the fire here, and this whole game's been that way. You
Right.
know, everyone's making great shots, and now she's got a chance to draw for two and tie this thing up.
It's pretty straightforward. As long as she comes down and touches her red, she should be fine. I don't know if she just gets that blue solidly, if she'll be shot, or even second shot, but
Just throw the same shots you threw, and away we go.
Over on cheat day, it looks like the team from Colorado was able to steal one in the fifth after the blank fourth end.
You bearer of bad news, you.
Nah, I know. Someone's got to do it.
all right, this delivery is very wide.
Yeah.
Julie indicated that as by pointing to the outside of the house there. Don't think that's going to swing back in. Sweeper can sweep all they like. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, work any magic with this guy.
No.
So red will get their one.
Give up hammer, but still down one. If anybody watching is in the area, we've got curling going on all day, today, tomorrow, and our final rounds taking place on Sunday. Come on down, great time. All kinds of good things happening here at the Bucks County Curling Club this weekend.
So now I guess is when ends start to come into play. We're already in the sixth end here.
That's right.
You know, Bucks is maybe only going to get hammer once more if things hold true, hold serve. They have to figure out a way to steal and get off of that pattern, I think.
This is where I'd play a little defensively if I was Laura. I'd be sort of saying, you know, yeah, our goal is to score 2. We got hammer here, but sort of a soft deuce, as we like to say. We're not going to take too many risks to get it. We're going to make sure that we get an acceptable outcome of scoring 1 here. And
no steal. We'll take 1. No steals.
If we score 1, we're going to be up 2 with 2 ends to go. We'll have hammer one of those ends probably. So let's just make sure we don't let them tie things up here. So yes, goal is to score 2 with hammer, but that's not. And again, the other team, goal is, you might be getting into a little harder effort to try and steal at this point in time. But a force of 1 is acceptable too, so you're not going to go crazy for your steal again, but maybe a little harder for your steal than you might have in the early ends.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a big number here, but you probably don't want to give up more than 2 is rough.
Yeah.
But if you can figure out a way to steal and be in the 7th end with a tie game, that's anything can happen there.
We're in the 6th end on sheet C in Team Moose, which is skipped by Matt Pring, defending champion of the his event. And they just gave up 1. However, they still lead. It's like 6-2.
It's like Martha put that guard in a little too deep. Now it leaves a double opportunity, or at least a bigger target to get 1 out. I think this is going to cross over. It might get them both. Don't know if that back one's going to have enough energy to get out.
Someone sweet. All right, good shot.
That's where that guard would have been so nice. They couldn't take anything out, but once you're in, fair game.
So advantage to Laura right here, and that in terms of what we were talking about before, right? She's got a corner guard up there, so it's, the deuce is still a possibility. You know, get something there. There's no center line guards, so her ability to probably score is pretty good. So. But with that, and
they went for the takeout there. They missed it. A little moved a little more than they expected. Maybe a little down weight.
So I do see we have 11 viewers on the live stream right now. If anybody feels free to or wants to go on the live chat, we are following along. Feel free to ask any questions regarding this game or curling in general. We should be able to get back to you.
If Laura's plan was to draw down to this 1 in the back, I think she's definitely behind the tee. She may be way behind the tee, all the way back into the barn.
Probably just wanting to draw behind that corner. Now Amanda's
given up on the takeout.
She's calling drawing behind the corner.
Yeah. Sometimes you're gun shy. Sometimes when you have your takeout flash, that you're afraid to call it a second time. I understand that, but I think the takeout might have been a better play.
Yeah, they got on that pretty quickly. It seems like that's definitely light.
Yeah, going from takeout to a draw is always difficult.
But as a skip, at least the pro side, it was on the light side. Now there's something a little closer to the 4-foot line that maybe you can come around.
Maybe you can hide. Maybe you can hide.
Hide behind, but yeah, I'm not too tempted to be drawing around a wide corner guard when I don't have hammer.
So she elected to draw around the corner. A little behind the tee. It gives Amanda a chance to draw in with a little backing if she needs it.
So Amanda playing with a little fire, not having hammer, letting the blue rocks accumulate in the house here. But you know what we're talking about before, you might want to be a little more aggressive to try and get your steal than if it was earlier in the game.
The sweepers are on it, I guess, for line, because the weight looks like it's there.
I think I like this shot.
Go right down
Come right down to it, right freeze on it to be shot with. Beautiful. Frozen right on it.
There you go.
That takes
care of both. That's like making a double.
It is. Now all of a sudden that one in the back we can forget about. So Amanda's forced to follow it and see if she can get shot out of it. Well, she has backing. Sweepers are right off this the whole way. They're hoping for it to move. It'll definitely get there.
That's actually a very, very good in that he unlocked that back blue rock there. So now if she can somehow get to that red rock at some point in time, might be able to score a bundle.
Right,
as long as it was locked, it was counting out 2 rocks for sure.
But Amanda is still sitting shot. She's going to just try to follow that down. Getting one in front of the tee would be much better than coming down and sitting on it.
Now, the sweepers think it's close. They're on off.
I agree. I think it might be all the way back to it. Sweep now, lock it right on it.
All right. That's a good shot.
So again, Amanda's forced to just come down and sit on it. The closer we get to the tee line, the less room there is to do that.
Line's pretty good.
Well, if the line's good, they can keep sweeping it if they wanted, no harm.
All right.
And
Good
did
shot.
settle. Did
Nice
settle a
shot,
shot.
Kim.
Yep.
Now we have a tricky play here. What does Bucks do to either steal or force?
Not easy to get there on the in-turn. I don't think you can actually because that long red guard.
That long red guard is just in the way.
The port is the wrong way.
Yeah.
To get there, so
looks like they're going to try and draw in from the other side then, from the out turn.
Yeah, and she makes it. I mean, you have to just miss the top guard, but.
Nothing's been down this way in a while.
That's true. That's true. So we don't know what this.
The thing is, if she gets, all she has to, she doesn't have to be totally buried behind the blue and the 12-foot there. If she's half buried and she's in the 4-foot,
it won't move.
They can hit it, but it's going to go right into the blue one. You know, that's there. So sometimes you think, well, tough to get in. The guard is so close in there. But if you get it into the 4-foot, even an inch buried, there's not much the other team can do with it other than run the top blue one back.
Right. I already think she's
now
on the top blue.
The bad miss here is to be on the top blue, and I think she's on the top blue.
That's not the outcome she wanted there.
No,
definitely not.
But opens it up to get to that rock in the back of the 4-foot now.
Right, so I have a blue sitting free. Maybe they just want to get something top of the house. She's touching like she wants it top 8. probably doesn't need to count.
No, a deuce at this point in time would be a commanding lead with only 2 ends to go. She'd be up 3. So keep your goal in mind. Once you get beyond, your goal is 2. 3's bonus. Let's just make sure we get her. Keep playing to get your goal.
Yeah.
Here for a while. But you can't afford to leave a long guard. I mean, you don't. You stop this thing a foot short of the house. That's just playing right into Amanda's hand.
And Amanda's going to do the same thing. Most likely is to try and draw back to that one in the back 4.
She's talking top 12, which is good. It cannot. You do not want to be light.
All right, sweepers were on this, but they've come off, so it must be pretty good, pretty close. Oh, that's too high.
Yeah, I would have kept pounding that, because now you come around. You've just helped the other team out. You come around that now, and
there's a little more room to get around. Yeah. So now the discussion is, where was the broom the last time? And more importantly, where did you throw it the last time?
Yeah, she's taken a couple more inches of ice here. It's probably to her benefit. She threw the same weight.
But this is a big one. She needs to get something. She needs something in there to cut down the damage, even if she's not shot, even if she just cuts this down.
I think the line's pretty good.
Sweepers are jogging a little. That makes me a little nervous. Cutting back. They have to go hard to get by that guard.
She's by the guard.
She's by just barely. And up. Once you're by the guard, get up.
It's a
beautiful shot.
What a shot.
Where's the cowbell?
The fans are applauding that effort.
Bring that cowbell, Dickie. Thank you.
There you go.
And so there we go. Laura wishing she hadn't even thrown her last rock at this point in time. It would have been better if it had been hogged than where it went.
Right. That's Amanda bailing out the team. I think the only thing Laura can do is draw down to it and take her one.
Yep. I don't see anything else.
They had a brief discussion to see if there were other options, but there really isn't. That was a perfectly placed rock.
And 3 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock here to finish this end. And so they're going to be playing full 8 ends.
Yeah.
Because the score's going to be close, and they're finishing this end before the time expires.
Not sure what the count was, but it looks like Team Anderson did score on sheet D as they are about to throw first rock in the 7th end.
They had a draw for 2. I don't know whether they made it or not, but they were lying.
Laura's rock just picked, and it really took a hard dive to the center.
That's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because the weight was good.
The weight was all there, as you can see. That definitely would have made it.
If it hadn't picked.
All right, we got a steal of 1 for Amanda.
Wow, we have a barn burner.
We do.
Tied ball game.
We do. Tied, 2
6.
ends left.
Quite a way to start the tournament. You know, sometimes you think you're coming in with a relaxed mode. Hey, it's fun time, and all of a sudden it's a nail biter.
Yeah.
This may come down to skip rocks the way it's playing out.
Let's see.
So we got to play conservative again. They got to just keep this in the free guard zone, right?
Yeah. Matt Tring's throwing his hammer rock. He's getting it off with 2 minutes to go on the clock, but it's a draw, I think, for at least 3. So they may not end up going the full 8 ends when it's all said and done.
That's right. It's like Pring just had a draw 4-3.
Makes it.
I'll put them up 9-2 after 6 ends, and we have handshakes.
We have shakes.
Yeah.
So defending champs come in, win their first game handily.
Yeah, and I think the women defending champions won earlier today too.
They
didn't
did. That was a little bit more of a tight game, but they did come back and win.
And which rink was that? That's
Kirshner, Christy Kirshner.
Christy Kirshner. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice curler. Nice, it was a good rink.
So start off, look like Martha got a guard a little wide there. Turned out to be a corner. We'll try again to get a center one up. Julie for Philly got her corner guard up as called.
All right, Jane, up there in Canada, your hubby and son took 2 in the 6th to tie it up over there on sheet D. Anderson Rink is coming, fighting back.
3-3 after 6. Again, following our sheets.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now this one's in. They might as well sweep it to get behind the guard. Still going to go behind the tee, right to tee.
It's not bad. That's buried.
Yeah. Pretty much completely buried. Maybe 3-4 inches. Well, I guess 3 or 4 inches showing.
Really changes the way the whole end is played.
Yeah.
Right? If it's a guard, we're doing something else. But now all of a sudden the play is in the house for maybe the rest of the end. Well, the sweepers are on this hard and early.
And line is good if it's got the weight.
No, it should be fine.
And if it gets by, it did. Full credit to the sweepers on that one.
Yeah,
Full credit to the sweepers again. You can't say enough for when those sweepers get on it early and make that call for you and
exactly.
Full team effort. Hard to tell who shot out of that whole mess, but Red just going to draw right down into that pocket anyway. I think this is going to sail on through.
Yeah, I don't think those 2 rocks are going to be where they are. Well,
No.
I was going to say at the end of the end.
No.
Right now, after that shot, we know. All right, so Laura's hammer. She's got 2 corner guards. Already got 1 rock behind.
She's going to draw behind the other side.
Yeah.
Split that house.
So definitely advantage to Team Hallisey right now. But it's early.
So we got Lisa delivering here. She's a southpaw, delivering from the left side. I'm curious to know how much does that change where the skip has to put the broom and call the rock when you have a lefty coming out versus a righty?
Well, we sort of talked about it earlier when we talked about setting a rock out or sliding at the broom and throwing out. It's sort of the same thing here. The broom is in the same spot, but where it's coming from is different. And
right.
Whenever you're the lefties, if it's a intern, all right. So they're they're out turn for the lefty, righty's in turn. It's going to run a lot straighter than the righty's in turn. So you have to anticipate it. You have to give a little more ice. It's not a lot.
Okay.
But you just have to be aware that.
Bucks draws one in here. Again, I don't know who was shot out of that, but that was a really nice draw in there.
Very nice.
Nice throw by Sarah.
Yeah. I like this call. Come down and sit on the corner of it.
Yeah, if you get a little piece of it, then again, we won't have any question as to who shot. That'll move a little bit outside.
the biggest thing with the difference in lefties and righties with inexperienced curlers, even more experienced, that's
going to crash.
Yeah, it's all guard.
Folks will generally, righties will tend to slide wide on their out turn more than they'll slide wide on their in turn in general. And it's got with a result of that sliding foot coming across their body. And if they're having it go too fast across their body, it's carrying everything out to their right.
Pulls their momentum out there.
And the lefty, of course, is the opposite, right? It's when it's on the left side of the sheet that their foot's coming across and pushing them more to the left. So sometimes it's really what you have to keep in mind as a skip as much as that. Hey, the tendency for a righty is to slide wide on this side of the sheet, and for the lefty, it's slide wide on this side of the sheet. And just keep that in mind. All right. Well, we may end up having a measure at the end of this sheet.
We may now.
If nothing changes here.
So now we're going to clear guards. If she's clearing the guard, she must think that red is shot then.
I think that's a pretty good assumption.
They get it. It's going to cross over, won't run back into the red.
Do you need something?
I'm good, thanks. Well, the staggered guards now, that if red is shot, that really hurts.
That is. That's tough to get to. So you don't want to leave this one in a spot where they could run it back into your shot, Rock.
Well, if we continue on the assumption that they also think they're shot, putting something on the center line there, I think, is a pretty good spot. Just block things up getting into the house.
Well, that's a way to get to the center line.
That's one way to get to the center line.
There you are.
I wonder if that is cutting over a little more than they expect now, because that's a lot that have over curled.
Yeah.
From what the skip expected. I think she's gonna say we got to blow them both up.
Yeah.
And now with that red one there, I think she has to make something go away from the front of the house.
I think she agrees with you.
Looking for a magic double here to just totally clear it out. Hard to get the double and lose the shooter, I think, but I do like this call. I think the only decision is to remove the red one that was just delivered, but you need to get access to that shot rock at some point. She's away. She's going to nose that one. Oh, crosses over.
Going to do some damage. Ooh.
And rolls it right through.
Wow.
Kind of a funny tick and roll there. But
yeah, got that rock off the center line too. A lot of that's a pretty good end result there.
It is. So now shot's exposed.
Yeah, center line's open to get in there to the button.
Yep, Amanda has to call for a guard to block that up. And now the trick is, will it over curl again? All the shots we've seen come this way have curled a little more than they've expected. Yeah. Actually, a good weight coming out. I thought maybe she pushed a little on the release. And it is cutting hard over to the right side there.
Yeah.
Turns out not to do a whole lot.
No, really didn't add any value.
No.
Thing is, you know, even if red is shot, what does Laura do here?
Right.
I mean,
we can see that she can hit it, but
it's going to go right
like
into her blue.
jam on the blue. So what does she do? Now, if she draws in and nudges it a little to the...
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Right,
you know,
pushes it a little to the outside and hers rolls to the middle.
Hits a third of it and rolls to the left on the forefoot.
Right, you don't have to get it out. You just have to move it a little to be past the blue one. So,
and we've been playing this whole assumption on how Laura was doing it, that we feel the red is shot there. And I think looking at it, I tend to agree with that. I think it looks a little closer.
Yeah, the way both skips have been calling it, I think it's clear that they think that. So she is torn and looking to, do they draw?
No. Colorado has a draw for 2 over there on sheet D, but that is
heavy.
Ooh, more than a little. It's going to the backboard. I mean, they take one. Sigh of relief up there in Canada, Jane. Your team is down 1, but have hammer coming home. And for you folks listening out there, if a game is tied here, they do not play an extra end. It's just 1 rock thrown by each of the teams to closest to the pin wins the game.
Right.
That'll change when they get to the playoffs. But you really need to have a rule. I like the rule, to be honest with you. You can say it's, you know, the team who would have had hammer in the extra end obviously is not as well off as if they got to play the whole end. But
right.
It does keep the Bonspiel moving on time. And
right, we try and get a lot of games in, make sure everyone gets 3 games.
And it's a fun spiel, you know. Teams are here to have a good time, and you don't want everything getting backed up where the team that's supposed to go on at 9 o'clock ends up going on at 10:30 or something.
Yeah. So they've elected to draw over to the other side.
And they may have just thought, like we were saying, and she's close. This is a heck of a nice shot.
Really good. It is shot.
It is shot.
Okay.
So Bucks is going to have to remove it.
Yeah, it is fully open.
Going back to the ties, they do call it skip rocks, but it is not necessarily the skip who throws them. It is, you know, up to the team to decide who will throw that rock, and it could be from any position.
Might want the lead throwing it. They've been throwing draws the whole game.
Exactly.
I can't remember the last time a skip didn't throw the rock.
Yeah.
But
But
I suppose if someone on your team has been really hot that game, you know, if your vice or your second has been like on the money for their draws, maybe you just give it to them.
Yeah. This is interesting to see if she just hits half this rock, whether we end up having a double made here and we don't get to see a measure.
All right, I think that's narrow. They got to sweep the whole way. They got to sweep the whole way to miss that red in the front. I don't think they're by it.
It's close. They got it.
They
got it. Oh, what a shot.
They're by and they sat, so presumably for 2. Again, wide open. So one of the only tricky things, if Laura hits it, will her rock be in position to be shot? Probably if she hits this.
Hits anywhere on the right center, she'll be shot. But because
I think that's what they're looking at.
You have to just miss that guard to hit it on the left. So I think if she hits it, she'll be hitting it probably nose to nose right. And I think no. Well, nose might not. I think even nose would do it.
And with that broom, that looks like they're coming in normal takeout, so that looks like they're coming. So she's going to have to get nose or she's going to roll away. How do you feel about upweight takeouts versus maybe just coming at this at like board weight or something?
You want to keep the shooter here, so I wouldn't be throwing really anything more than board weight at this.
Right, but that broom looks a little tight, like she might be coming.
Well, we've said that. We've said that this is the third or fourth time we've said that on this turn for her. All right.
It's definitely wide of the broom.
No, it's going to be.
I think she's got to sail it through.
She's just setting those out a bit.
She is. But that was heavy. That was definitely more than. That was full control, if not full normal takeout.
Yeah.
So a steal of 2.
Wow. Huge.
All right, coming home, Brockman's got a 2-rock lead.
This is their first lead of the game.
Yeah.
No problem.
I was talking to my team about this after the last game, that I prefer down weight takeouts when possible. I mean, unless you actually need to move a lot of granite. If you come down, you have a chance of steering it. You have a chance of sweepers actually making an impact and maybe keeping your shooter if you need it.
I actually had that discussion with my brothers before they went out there. I said this ice is really nice. This is like championship ice, where if you have your weight up even to normal, the rocks will run straight. But you bring it down to control board, you get nice curl. So why not bring your sweepers into the game and throw control board type weight at this stuff, and these guys can keep a rock straight. And so really, if you throw more than that, you're taking the sweepers out. The shooter had better make the shot, right where you want it. And your shooting rock is much more likely to stay in play.
Right.
And that's half the battle. So often, the team that wins is the one who can keep their shooter in play.
So Amanda looking to draw to the wing, or Laura looking to draw, Amanda just sweeps it. So Amanda calling for a guard again. The debate, do you keep it open? Do you not keep it open?
Well, you see, this gets to what we were talking about in the rules of the game, right?
Right.
We're not going to an extra end.
We're not.
So you're up 2. If you give up 2, it's tied. And I mean, realistically, it's hard to stop a team who really wants to go hard for the deuce to get their deuce. So maybe you go for the steal on this a little bit, or force to 1 by keeping rocks in play. Because if you play it clean, you just have 1 miss, and all of a sudden the other team's got to open draw for 2, or something at the end. So I like the idea, the fact that you're not going to have the hammer and an extra end if the other team takes 2 to actually try and win the sucker in the 8th end. Unless you feel really confident you can outdraw the other team in the one-shot playoff. So, yeah, I would be going for a steal on this, but not crazy steal. Don't let the other team pile up rocks. Well,
she ended up drawing one in. That was really nice.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
And now we follow up a really nice one. I assume she just stacks right up on top of it.
Yeah,
you're going to make for a very tiny scoring area. It's going to be hard to get more than 1 for either team.
That's a great term to bring into play too for folks who are new to skipping. Is a big house, little house. How much do you want to expand that scoring area? If you have hammer, you want to expand the scoring area. You don't want to be playing all the rocks in a tight little 4-foot. If you don't have hammer, try and shrink that scoring zone. Get one of your rocks in there, just like right now. The blue's got a rock there on top of the other one. That's shrinking it.
The sweepers did a great job to get that by the guard. It's not going to be where they wanted it, but it's still
in the rings.
And again, it's now there's two red rocks here, so that really does shrink that scoring area. Blue is going to need 2 rocks closer. You know, essentially 2 rocks in the 4-foot to score by the end of the game. So it looks like she's calling a come down right freeze on that blue. It's a little wide. Is it going to come over enough?
A little hot. I'm afraid it's a little hot.
A little hot, little wide, just by.
So close.
Now I'll try again, freeze on that. Looks like both teams are going to use that strategy. Who can freeze on that blue one next? It's also a little hot. I don't know if it's going to come in and tick the blue. Might be bad if it does. It's going to unlock it from the back one. That's still locked on, all right. So again, blue's still shot. Call is the draw right down to it, to freeze to it. You almost think whoever can do this first is going to have command and control.
Sweepers aren't too interested in this one.
No. No, it really is diving over now. It really is diving.
Yeah. I think that may have picked some because it's slowed down fast and it took off fast.
Can sweepers get it there? It's actually going to tick on the red.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice spot.
It might be hard to tell with the glare a little bit, but it's definitely blue one, red is sitting second shot.
Yep. Over on sheet D, we have gone to our skip stones. The last end.
Yeah, Colorado is line 2, but they're open.
Over here we had a little bit of a lighter than expected, so it bumped into the guard, ended up not really coming into play. Now I think Amanda can almost come in and just touch that blue one in the front, push it in a little.
Oh, Amanda's the red rocks, right?
Yeah. This is Kim throwing now.
The sweepers are on it. As soon as they got on it, started to move. They need to drag that over as far as they can.
Weight looks pretty good.
I think if they just touch that blue, it'll be enough to move it into a second shot. Oh, well, the rolls, the shooter rolled it in for second for sure. Wide open, but now we've gone from a draw game to a hit game, I think.
Yeah, I think that rock has to be removed.
It's a little wide. I think they really want to nose it. If they catch it on the side, it could be a little trouble.
All right, that changed things up a bit.
Just a bit.
Changed things up enough that who do you think is shot here now? Blue?
It's hard
She's
to
trying
say.
to figure that out too.
Boy.
I think it's blue. Sitting 1.
I think that's what Laura's indicating there.
Yep. I think you just touched them in order there. Blue, red, blue is 1, 2, 3. He's looking to come and maybe sit on that. A little risky if you bump it out of shot. I think that's wider than they were hoping. Is that going to come back enough? It's cutting over, but if it cuts on the inside, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a little move it. Oh. Actually missed the whole thing.
So Colorado line 2 with 1 rock to come over there on sheet 4.
It's just like a hit and stick over there, Wayne. See if you take their 1 and go to that stone.
I think that's all they've got really is just a back 8 type tap. Move the rock back, take your 1, and say, okay, let's
go to skip. Go to skip rocks.
Go to skip rocks. The shot rock is right on the button. I'd say we don't have very good angle here, but I would suspect that it's
pretty well behind that close guard.
Yeah, like 3/4 buried. So
yes,
you have to really just be drawing the button on this shot. Just back 4 type weight, just enough to tap it.
All right, Ost, focus on our game. What do we got? What's the call here?
I think with that ice, you got to be just drawing.
Got to be just a draw.
Line's pretty good. Definitely not tight.
No. Sweepers are jogging a little. That might be heavy. That is definitely heavy. I don't know if it's going to catch the 1 in the back, but it's going to sail through if it doesn't.
They're sweeping over hard on sheet D. I don't know whether they're going to buy the guard or not. They're by the guard, by the next one. They're going to hit roll. It's going to bonus curling over there. 1-shot playoff.
So, Wayne, who do you think on Team Anderson will throw that rock?
I think the skipper, the young guy, I think Craig will be throwing it. That's my brother Don's son. He's throwing last rocks.
I'm thinking Anderson's going to throw it.
Anderson
my bet's on Anderson.
I think you're absolutely right. You can't take that away on that one. Yeah, I said at the beginning, there's just so much fun in bringing the family together for something like a curling weekend.
And our his and hers Bonspiel commissioner, Steve Johnson, out there getting the measuring device ready.
He's ready to go.
We'll keep you up to date on that one. Meanwhile, we still have a nail biter here.
Right. Could be going to a measurement on the extra end on this sheet as well.
Laura's figuring out what best to do. If she is shot, what is her best play?
Boy, it's tough because even if you drew to the open side, there's a double. You know, it's hard to put it almost anywhere. Where they got the broom, they're saying, what if we drew right back here, right? That would be sort of perfect, but
we should figure out how to get to, and if we're assuming she is still shot, I know things got jostled a little bit, but I think that one is still shot in the top there. If she puts one in the open, Red, you know, Bucks is forced to hit it, and she can maybe hit and stay for her too.
Well, the Anderson rink is in the rings, but just biting. I might be
just
biting
touching
the
4, maybe.
Just biting 4. What I was glad is they used the sweepers. They swept that end to end over there. And then when you're talking about, there's nothing worse than watching that rock just sail through the ring. You know, you're a little pumped up, right? It's a one-shot playoff, and it's easy to have the adrenaline running and just have that rock sail right through.
Just for those of you who are wondering, yes, when those rocks are thrown, they are allowed to have sweepers help those rocks. Offensive sweeping only. If that rock goes behind the tee, there isn't a defensive sweeping allowed.
All right, so it looks like they've decided to sort of draw one to the open here, not to try and put their rocks.
I think they're playing for 2 and not 3. I don't know how you can get 3 at this point without a miss from Buck. So if they just draw into the open, it's got to count.
When I was talking before, I thought Laura was throwing red and that trying to avoid doubling onto there, but
it's a good shot.
And that's 1-2.
Let's see what Colorado's doing here on sheet D.
They're saying the sweepers have not been sweeping that too much. It is going, gone. There you go.
Team Anderson with the win.
Well, it's a good day in the Bucks County Curling Club. There you have it. Anderson wins over on D over Colorado in an extra end shootout.
Not that our folks at home can see, but Wayne, it seemed like the sweepers got on that right away. And is that just?
I missed that. They did get on it.
They got on it right away, and then they backed off a little bit, about 3/4 of the way between the hog.
Yeah.
So could have been a case of a little bit too aggressive on the sweep there.
Just getting a little excited.
So I got a good debate here. They're trying to really figure out what to do. I think they've determined that blue is sitting 2.
Well, I would say make sure that one of them goes away, because then the worst case is you got a one rock shootout, right? So make something go away here. And I think if they hit it, if they hit a third of that rock, I think they move both of those blue rocks
move both,
around.
and then it's a miracle shot for Laura to do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah, once they know they have some of that blue rock, they want to sweep this thing, because you don't need to hit too much of it to get that other a piece of that other blue rock and move it a couple of inches out. We have a good view of the line on this one, and that is a nice. It's certainly not going to be wide.
Nope, sweep hard. Hold that line. You don't want to cross over.
Oh, this could be trouble.
Again, I still think blue is sitting 2. Just an open draw for 3 in the win.
Yep.
Just don't be heavy, because if you come down to your back blue one, you'll still be sitting 2.
Rub off the back blue one and split out and give up a win. Yeah. I don't think Laura's going to be doing that. All right, for the win. That's how we see the rocks line right now. Just bite the forefoot.
Line looks good.
Line looks good. The sweepers are leaving it alone.
It is all there.
Maybe a little too much, because down that back red, it's too much. And we'll I think, have Skip Rocks here.
I think it is Skip Rocks here.
Skip Rocks.
Down in front.
Pat Jolly, that giant among women.
They're gonna measure to
standing
be
out in
sure.
front of
You know
us
what?
here.
I'm all right with that. This is an important rock here.
Yeah, people always used to put their brooms down just like that there, but they tend not to like that now, and that's too easy to actually step on that and someone hurt themselves or kick the broom into something. Everybody knows there's going to be a measure. Keep the broom in your hand.
I'll also comment, I like that the rest of the teams are out there by the hog line in a way.
Exactly.
It's something that in a lot of cases you'll see everyone gather around to check it out.
Yeah.
But it's up to the vices to do this, and you leave the house open, and you let them do their measure.
You got all those feet wandering around the rocks that are being measured. And, yeah, you're quite right. Nice to see everybody out there on the other side of the hog line. Well, we couldn't pick a better game to be broadcasting here, could we?
Definitely
even to
exciting.
hear. That missed the red. Blue is Blue's the one where's the indication.
Blue
So
in.
we got Skip
Rocks.
Rocks.
Bonus. So our folks at home are going to see exactly how we do our tiebreakers here at Bucks County.
That's right. Each team gets to throw one rock, whichever one they want, and whoever they want to throw it.
And our chairman of this spiel, Steve Johnson, he's going to get some air time here and go out and be doing his measuring of the rocks. Assuming the first rock is in the rings.
Yes. Amanda should be down there with her rock.
No, I don't believe Amanda's throwing.
Amanda's not going to throw this. She's letting...
Well, both her and Julie are hanging around the back here, so maybe Amanda's just waiting to see what the outcome is before she goes down.
I think so.
And also in this case, what I've seen sometimes is, you don't need the vice to be the one that's holding the broom. You'll typically want your best sweepers, and one of them could be your vice. So it doesn't need to be an experienced person back there holding the broom. They just have to hold the broom.
No, you don't really have to call line.
Nope.
In this case, Laura shoots first because she scored.
Sweepers have not touched it.
No, she threw the last one heavy, but this one looks like it's all right.
Sweepers are getting a little more excited about being part of the
down there to the 4 foot.
That's a really nice shot.
Steve
really
Johnson
nice.
is definitely going to be called into play on this one.
She just had to dial it a little back from her 8 rock there.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the advantage if you're throwing a draw on your 8 rock.
That's right.
Versus throwing something crazy like a takeout to make your score.
Who's going to win, Pat? Pat Jolly. She knows everything. Who's going to win, Pat?
Who's going to win this, Pat?
Oh, she's putting her money on that. She thinks that rock is unbeatable.
That's a tough rock. You have to touch you have to get to the button now.
That's what I'm going with.
All right. Pat's going with it.
See if I'm having a psychic moment.
So we need a team effort here. She's going to need to throw it maybe to her sweepers to get at that exact
It'd be nice to see some sweeping on this thing. Draw it right into the pin. All right, line's looking pretty good. It should end up on the center line, I think.
Well, the sweepers
are definitely
kind of got to come back a bit to make it to the button.
I think it'll get there. I like the fact that the sweepers are involved.
They come off now. Maybe they got
have
too
they gotten a little
eager.
excited?
Too
Have
eager.
they gotten a little excited?
Oh,
Oh, no!
And there we go.
That's a nicely thrown rock.
Congratulations,
Philadelphia.
Team Hallisey. Lara's team there with the big win.
What an
Close
exciting game.
Very good game.
Down to a nail biter. Congratulations to
Well,
Lara, Kim, Lisa, and Julie.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Wayne. That was excellent commentary from you guys.
Nice chatting with you.
Sitting here listening
All right.
most of the time, but
All
great
right.
job.
Those home viewers, come back in like 15 minutes. We'll have another round all set up for you.
Sounds good, everybody.
See you later,
On
folks.
behalf of Joe Weber, and myself, Jeff Gelman, and the illustrious Wayne Anderson. Good day, good curling.